to hear from our high school students, but before we do, I want to hear from who has been an incredible House partner on this legislation. It's always great to have a really serious attorney as your sponsor on the House side. And I want to pass it on to Rep. Knight. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Rhode Island.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. My name is Representative Jason Knight, and I represent parts of Barrington and Warren. I want to thank all of you for coming out today, and especially all the senators and the representatives and the governor and all the members of the law enforcement community and all the members of our religious communities and every single one of you who represents a community in Rhode Island who is sick and tired of people dying senselessly in our schools and in our streets. Not many of you may know this. Not many of you may know this. That's a system right there, boy. I didn't grow up in Rhode Island. I grew up in Idaho. And if that's a red state, if there ever was one. My father was a police officer, and we had in my household rifles and pistols and BB guns and an assault weapon, an old 30-06 from World War II that was an antique. And we shot them all the time for recreation and for some of our friends for hunting. And that's what it was for me growing up. I used those guns since I was knee-high, 5 or 6 years old. What we didn't have then was the phenomena of mass shootings. They started back then. I remember back in the 80s, and I was recently looking at the data. I think one of the earliest ones in modern times is 1982. But you know what has happened over the years is they become increasingly more common, depressingly more common, such that we can almost bet money for sure that we will have another one this year. The weapon of choice for many of those shooters is an assault rifle, especially in the mass shootings that have happened in the last 5 years. An assault rifle is a military-grade weapon that is designed to fire a lot of bullets really fast and lay down a killing field on a battlefield. And in fact, the only difference in many of these weapons between the military version and the civilian version is a simple select fire switch that lets you go full automatic on the military version. But they have the same power, the same accuracy, the same range, and the same killing power when in the hands of a mass shooter engaged in murder. That's why I'm here as part of an overall legislative effort to reduce gun violence in our community through an assault weapons ban. My goal is to put daylight between the potential mass shooter and his or her ability to obtain an assault rifle in Rhode Island. My goal is not to take away the law-abiding citizen's ability to defend their home with a pistol or a shotgun. Those will remain legal. But we have a public health crisis in gun violence these days, and any serious effort to reduce that violence must involve a conversation about reducing the number of weapons in circulation and available to the general public. Now here's the thing. I got elected to do the right thing for my community. And I absolutely refuse to be the legislature who, God forbid, something happens in Rhode Island and I have to wake up the next day knowing that I did nothing. So today, here's the bill. This bill been already signed by so many of my colleagues, and so many more will sign it when we go into session today and right now, because my community has given me the opportunity to be here to represent them, for which I am eternally grateful. I am going to sign this bill. Thank you very much.